morning.
Good morning from Athens.
I'm April, this is Tim. We're travelling the world and sharing our journey along the way.
Subscribe to our channel if you want to come with us.
It is early today. We got up at 6 AM, which is like quite early for us to be out and about. It actually was dark when we woke up, and I don't think that it's been dark at 6 AM since like before we even started this trip. So that was a bit confusing to wake up to darkness. But today we are off to the Acropolis. Oh, I'm still tired.
I can't believe we're going to the Acropolis.
Yeah.
I wanted to get there really early. The ticket office opens at 8 and we saw the line yesterday at about 10 o'clock and it was huge.
Ooh, it was like, they're probably waiting a couple of hours.
There's probably already people there this way.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's that thing like they don't open till 8, so if you get there at 7, you're guaranteed to wait for an hour.
Yes, but you'll be at the front of the line.
I think that this will be a good time. We're getting there half an hour before it opens.
Pretty quiet out.
There is no one out. I really hope that when we turn the corner there aren't any tourist buses. Cha-ching! There is no one around. Yesterday there was like hundreds of people waiting to get a ticket.
Right, we've got our tickets. I'm told we have to take the mic off, so the audio might not be the best, but anyway, we're good to go.
We ended up being second in line to get our tickets. I think I should have done a bit more research before coming here because the plaques that they have aren't that informative, and I feel like this is an amazing site. I mean, look how grand it is. We're right by the bin, and Tim's called me over for a history lesson.
Well, I think this is the way that they used to join them.
Oh,
so
put
like
the iron.
Yeah, put iron in like a keystone.
Oh, cool.
And it'd be a piece of iron that would join blocks together. But you see this sort of thing on other ancient sites. We actually saw this at a site in Vietnam, at Mae Son. We saw the same keystone cuts out of the blocks.
I think it's so strange that all this ancient stuff is just like sitting like just, oh, that's old, we'll just leave it there so you can look at it.
You really don't get an idea of the scale of the place until you come up here and see it close up. It's enormous.
So can you believe that we're actually at the Acropolis after watching all of those cheesy documentaries back in Adelaide?
I can't believe it, just sitting on the couch watching all these documentaries about this place.
Like ancient Greece was probably one of our go-to documentary topics when we were back home on the couch.
Yeah, for Friday night pizza and
Friday night pizza. But I just can't believe that we don't like remember all of the facts.
Oh, I remember parts of it.
Yeah, just remember them talking about these grand buildings and how difficult it was for them to build.
It is just incredible being here though. It's quite surreal actually, and I'm glad that we came here early. Would you check this line out? So we were second in line, and I definitely recommend, if you can, get here at the crack of dawn. So the ticket office opens at 8 o'clock. We got here about 7:30, and there were already a few dozen people starting to filter in. So it's awesome in the morning. avoid the crowds.
Also, it is stinking hot now, so I'm so glad that we got to see it in the cool calm of the morning. And we just had another quick look around the whole complex. Ciao. And it has such a different vibe when there's so many people around there.
There is actually a lot to see around the Acropolis. So on the southern side and northern side. The northern side is actually blocked off at the moment, but there's still plenty to see.
Yeah, I mean, if you've watched any of our other videos, you know that we don't normally do tourist sites and that we don't really like crowds, but if you like us, then just get here early. I mean, it's not that hard, you can nap in the afternoon. And just another tip about the microphone, we couldn't take that inside, we had to check it. It doesn't cost anything, but it looks like if you have bags that are too big, or if you've got a pram or any kind of bigger bags, anything that looks like professional recording equipment, even though we're not professionals, they will make you check it. It is free, it's just an annoyance. I guess if we had the microphone in our bag, they wouldn't have even known.
If you've got something like an external mic, just put it in your bag. So
yeah, and just don't bring big backpacks if you're not willing to check it. This impressive structure behind me is Hadrian's Arch. It was actually built in 131 AD, and on one side it has scripted on there as you're entering towards Old Athens. This is the ancient town of Athens, not of Hadrian. And I just find it quite interesting that in 131 AD, Athens was referred to as ancient. I mean, that's 2,000 years ago. But this arch was pretty much to divide New Athens from Old Athens, and it's still an impressive landmark. When you're visiting the ancient sites in Athens, you can get a ticket for €20, which was what we got. It's valid for one day and gets you into the Acropolis and all of the buildings that are up there. It does not get you into the Temple of Zeus and a couple of other places. You can get a one ticket for €30, which gets you into everywhere and lasts 5 days. But I have to say, we're at the Temple of Zeus now. Just look at it through a fence and you've seen it. If you visit Athens and you're interested in going to the sites, you can, and you don't have to pay a cent, because it's really kind of haphazardly done. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but like, this is an ancient monument right next to the road. Like, all of them, including the Acropolis, you can just have a look and see. The only time that you'd want to pay to get in is if you want to walk around and be right up and close.
We've actually come to this restaurant twice. It's pretty good here. It's right near Monastiraki Square, and there's a few rows of restaurants, and we think that there's a couple of big ones. We think that they might actually be the same restaurant because the menus are very similar.
They do really cheap like souvlaki wraps here, and they're actually really good, and there's loads of seats, so you won't have any trouble finding somewhere to sit. We keep forgetting to film our food before we just eat it, so sorry, there's a few bites taken.
Traditional Greek souvlaki. They even put chips in there and add a bit of paprika. Very good.
I went with the Greek salad, which they just call a salad here.
The St. Petersburg Metro offered something pretty to look at on your commute, but the Athens Metro actually offers a bit of history. So we've noticed in some of the metros, they actually have artifacts that potentially were uncovered as they were creating the subway. I'm not sure, but it's pretty interesting to see. You really don't get an idea of the scale of the place until you actually come up here and see it up close. It's colossal.
Colossal?